So how would you characterize the experience at the tournament? I know on the court, everything did not go the way you wanted, but what did you learn about your team from that?
Yeah, it wasn't a great tournament for us. I thought we could have been better in all three games. Obviously, we came out with a win in the first game against a really tough Green Bay team. But we learned that we have some ways to go. We got to get a little bit tougher, a lot tougher mentally and physically. We got to get healthy. Not making excuses, but like that last game, we just did not have. We had two post players in that game, and they had a really really good post player inside. So we got to get ourselves healthy, which we are, and I like to see that. But we just got to get tougher and get back to our principles. I think we went rogue a little bit in those last two games, and so there's things we just have to continue to clean up.
I think it was prior to Puerto Rico, you guys hadn't been in any situations like you were in those three games where possessions were tight and you were in close games. Kind of how valuable was it to kind of be in those positions?
Yeah, you got to learn how to win close games. I think the first game that was great for us. Green Bay. That was our first close game. Came down to the wire. Possessions mattered. So I thought we learned a lot in that game. Washington State, we didn't. That came down to the wire too. We didn't really get over the hump in that game. But then the last game was just that was just uncharacteristic, I think, of us. And it's unfortunate that we had to experience that and have that game and really apologize to our fans and our community for how we played because I didn't think we fought in that game. But we'll bounce back from that for sure. And I think sometimes when you kind of hit rock bottom like that, there's nowhere to go but up. So we'll get healthy, we'll get people back, we'll get refocused. But you can't just continue to play in blowouts. You got to understand possessions, time score possessions, special situations, things like that lead up to wins at the end of the day.
And then speaking of injuries, how valuable was it to have Paris back for those three games?
Yeah, it was great to have Paris back. I think, she's still working herself back to being 100% healthy, but she's a lot better. So she's feeling a lot better, and I think she changes us, especially defensively, the intensity she brings on ball defense, but then just also cleaning up other mistakes. But Paris is a really good scorer as well, so I expect that to continue to get better.
Odessa did not play in those games. What is her status? How is she doing, and what will she add when she's healthy again?
Yeah, she's recovering. She had an illness that just kind of came out of nowhere, but today will be like her first day back in practice. So I'm excited about that. I think she brings a lot to our team, a lot to our culture. She brings toughness. I just think she could have added some depth, obviously, in the post position and some physicality that we needed. Also, she stretches the D with her ability to shoot the ball. So I think having her back is going to be a huge bright spot for us in more ways than one.
You mentioned the depth there in the front court, and obviously getting Odessa back will help there. But how much of a challenge is that from a coaching standpoint, trying to figure out how to manage the depth, how to manage foul trouble in these specific games, especially when you're going up against teams that have high-quality centers?
Yeah, going into Wyoming, we couldn't have foresaw Tosh not playing. She just came off a really great game the night before, even though we didn't come up with a win. It was kind of like her coming out party with 19 and 10. So that hurt us when she didn't play. And then, you got to manage. It's next woman up mentality at that point. Not having Tasha, not having Odessa, no one would have thought that would happen at the same game, but it did. So we got to be able to step up no matter what it is. Some people have to play out of position. It happens. It happens to other teams, and you just got to be ready when your number's called.
Then shifting ahead here to Auburn coming in, what stands out about them and looking at the tape, and what is your team going to have to do to have success against them?
We got to be able to execute. They're a very good defensive team, very athletic, put a lot of pressure on you. Very good rebounding team, really from all positions. So we got to be able to compete on the boards like we were earlier in the season and take pride in that. So obviously we got to guard them too. But I think the biggest things they bring is just their physicality and aggressiveness on the defensive end and on the boards as well.
And then coming off of the Puerto Rico trip, how have you seen the team kind of respond to that adversity of taking a couple of tough losses? What's been the response from the team in practice?
I think we're hungry. We played 3 games back to back. We were gone for a while, so we had to kind of take a day off. Take 2 days off really to recover physically and mentally, that was a lot, and just kind of refocus on our goals individually, refocus on some accountability stuff, discipline stuff, get back to us. So I think, our players are hungry. I think, they're embarrassed at how we played, what we displayed on the court. And we're just looking to come together. We're going to do some team bonding. We got to get back on track. But no one's, quitting. No one's discouraged. It happened. It wasn't a great game. Even Washington State wasn't a great game for us, but especially Wyoming. And, credit to those two teams for being, fighting and wanting it a little bit more than us. But, there's a lot of season left at this point. And so we need to decide what kind of team we want to be and get back to the grind.
Kimura is shooting the ball really well, particularly from three-point range. Has she taken kind of the step you were hoping so far this season?
For sure, and it's just about consistency, which she has been thus far. I just think that she's really hungry. She really wants this team to be successful. She really believes in the talent that we have here and what we're doing, and I just think that she's going to continue to get better too. But she has made huge strides. I mean, in the areas that she wanted to improve, I think that she has, decision-making being one, efficiency being another one, and she's doing a great job of that. And thank goodness she is, because we need it right now.